When Frontier Developments announced the Panther Clipper Mk II, commanders across the galaxy, you could say, collectively held their breath. 2 versions were going to be released for early access launch for ARX, circa end of July. Well, that's impending. The Standard Edition was going to cost 19,020 ARX, and the Stellar Edition 38,000 ARX, all following an increase of pricing for large ships from Frontier Development. Now, both ships promise to reign over the elite dangerous cargo meta, but with vastly different cosmetic and module bonuses once you part with your ARX. So, when launch day comes, which one will you choose? If you're spending the ARX on the Panther Clipper, what one says, I'm going to spend the ARX on you? Is it the standard version? Bog standard, as they say, with all E-rated modules? Or are you going to go for the Stellar version with some already A-rated modules that you can engineer, save you a bit of money, and also save on the rebuy cost? What are you going to do? Well, we're going to discuss this right now. So, which Panther Clipper is for you? They come in 2 flavours as of all the variant and new ships Frontier have released. You get the Stellar version. Here it is. In all its glory. Look at it. Isn't it fantastic? It looks nice. A nice black, white, gold paint job. But everyone's going to have that paint job, aren't they? Is it worth the extra ARX? Is it worth the 38,000 ARX? Which is about, I don't know, $22-ish, I suppose, if you want to do it in American money. A really nice model. We've discussed this in length in the design video. But what do you get with it compared to the standard version? Well, the standard version, it does come in its base paint job. The base paint job of like that sort of bluey grey colour. Again, there's no difference between the ship in performance as a base sort of like flight model. You do get more modules on the Stellar version than you do on the standard version, but that's expected. So let's take a look. Here's the standard version. So you get 2 1F pulse lasers. Well, that's nice, isn't it? Right in the medium slot. Well, okay then, no problem, but this is coming in at 19,020 ARX, which is significantly cheaper than the 38,000 ARX of the Stellar version. But you don't get any paint jobs or ship kits or Panther Clipper decals for the Owners Club. You also get a 1C lightweight alloy. Now this might be quite good for those people looking to haul. You can take that lightweight alloy and you can engineer it up for free, with no impact on your jump range. You can get all the deep plating on it you possibly want. No impact. You go for reinforced or military, however, and start engineering up, and that's going to eat into your jump range. You can see the jump range here of laden is 10.68 light years, and unladen is 12.52. That's all based on what you've currently got in your core internals, which is the 7E frameshift drive for SCO. That is the bog standard of the bog standard. If you wanted the middle of the road, go for a 7C. If you want the maximum jump range you can get, well, you can either get yourself out there and get a pre-engineered 7A jump drive by collecting Titan bits, or you can get a 7A and just engineer that up with Felicity. So, you get a 7E frameshift drive. The power plant, 8E, again, you might want to get something in there that's more akin to what you're using. If you intend to arm this ship up and you want to use machine guns or machine gun turrets, then you're not going to need as much power. If you're going to stick beams on it, well, you're going to need more power to support this, along with all the other modules you're going to upgrade. As 5E life support, 7E power distributor, 5E sensors. The fuel tank remains the same across both models. You don't get any utility mounts, although there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, count them, 6 utility mounts here. What would you put in them? Well, point defense, more than likely. Also, I would definitely think about putting some chaff in there to cover your escape from people with gimbaled beam lasers. And then once you've done that, well, the world is your oyster, depending on what role you want your Panther Clipper to go for. Looking at the optional internals, well, in the 8 slot, the top slot there, which is going to be compatible with the 8D cargo rack, you just get a 7E cargo rack with 128 tons of cargo. You get a 7E shield generator. You get 2 5E cargo capacity slots, right? With 32. Advanced docking computer, super cruise assist, and advanced planetary approach suite. Now, I've got a bit of a problem here. I mean, advanced docking computer, I get it, right? I get it, I really do. You also need a system scanner, and also the planetary approach suite. That's just a given, isn't it? Right, you also need surface scanner, discovery scanner, all those sort of, quality of life things that I think you're going to need. Is that worthwhile ripping out an advanced docking computer? It's going to be up to you, isn't it, really? So you definitely need a discovery scanner and, say a surface scanner. So all of a sudden, you're putting an advanced docking computer in a 4 slot. Well, that's going to impact your cargo for that extra quality of life. But, hey, you're going to buy this for 19,020 ARX, the standard version, and you can effectively do what you want with it. As it stands in this configuration, there will be 0 rebuy should you get beefed. As soon as you start adding modules to this, then your rebuy cost is going to increase. Now let's face it, these modules here, you're going to rip them out straight away. But you do have the ship before it's available in-game for credits. So this here is the standard version. Bask in its glory. Look at it. It's a lovely model. It really is, even though it currently has problems with some of these hard points back here firing through the hull. But, and the hard points at the bottom firing through the cargo rack. But that's going to be the same on both models. Whether Frontier fix it or not, I don't know. They are aware of it. So, that's the standard version. Lovely, marvellous. Let's have a look at the Stellar version then. And what you get there in comparison. So, here it is. Like I mentioned at the beginning, you get the paint job. If you're doing a current community goal, you're going to get a gold paint job, which is going to be fine. And, a point defense that's been engineered up. So they know you're going to get a bit of beef here, right? So, the Stellar version. What do we get? Well, I'll show you. So they filled every single slot with something, which is good, right? You get the pulse lasers, 2-3F in the lower large slots. Then you get multi-cannons for laying down that wall of lead. And then you get more pulse lasers. Now, that's all well and good with what they've got there. If you've unlocked all the engineers, like Felicity, like the Dweller, all those people who can help you with power distribution, frameshift drives and things like that, then you're going to have to get yourself over there and decide what you're going to do with your hard points. Now, if you're going to engineer up the pulse lasers, okay. If you're going to engineer up the multi-cannons, again, okay. You engineer that power distributor and that power plant up, you're going to have more power than what you want to do with, depending on what you want to do with this ship. Now, if you want to put it in for AFK, I've done a few experiments with this, and it's not going to cut it. It really isn't going to cut it. You haven't got the armor. You've got the weapons. You haven't got the armor. You're going to need a big power plant to stick some beams and some burst lasers on there. Perhaps remove the pulse lasers so you can just lay down a wall of beam laser directly at it. Either way, you're going to have to move some of these hard points, and that means your rebuy is going to go up from the default 0 to whatever you put in here. So looking at core internal, again, just like the standard version, you get a lightweight alloy, again, for free, really. Once you get that engineering unlocked, you're not going to have any impact on your FSD range if you engineer that up and put an experimental effect on it. With the 8A power plant, however, you can start really getting in there and getting some more power. It's got ample power for what it's got in this configuration. But once you start knobbing about with the hard points, you're going to need a bit more. Once you start engineering the frameshift drive up, which is giving you a nice respectable unladen range with a 7A frameshift drive with SEO in it, and it's all these ships are SEO compatible, obviously, you're getting 20.76. Now if you got your laden range is 12.61, and I'll come on to that in a minute. So you got 8A thrusters, well, you're going to want some dirty drive on that, and you got a 5A life support as well. Should someone beef you, blow your canopy out, and you're there sucking in air through your suit. You've also got that 7A power distributor that I was talking about earlier on, and a 5A sensors. Well, personally, and it's up to you, I change those for a 5D straight away. But is that really going to impact you that much? You engineer that frameshift drive up, I think you're going to be okay. Shield boosters. Because people like to give you beef. So they got 3 of those in there, A-rated. They've got an ECM, very good at blocking missiles, and also blocking limpets. If someone's firing limpets at you and there's several limpets in the air and your point defense is struggling, hit that ECM button, limpets be gone, although it does destroy your limpets as well. The point defense, good for missiles, good for limpets as well, and also heatsink launcher for any heat problems. Now, again, the problem you're going to have is, well, what you put in it. If you're going to configure this for a miner, you want a pulse wave analyzer, don't you? Perhaps you'll forego the shield booster, put some bi-weaves in, boost up those thrusters, and away you go. Completely up to you. But again, that's going to impact your rebuy cost. But who cares? Credits are cheap, right? Credits are in abundance. So, optional internals. This is where now we're seeing the benefits of the Panther Clipper. It's good, this. I really do like it. So, 8D. This is the brand new super duper cargo rack that gives you increased storage. 384 capacity there. Then in the second slot, which is not compatible with the 8D cargo rack, which is a bit of a shame because you could have had a lot of cargo then, right? You get a standard 8E cargo rack with 256 tons. Then in the 7 slot, the top 7 slot, you get the option to put a 7D Mark II cargo rack in there, and they've given you a 7A shield generator. I think personally you could probably go down to a 6A shield generator. Whether you go for prismatics or bi-weaves, completely up to you. And that would give you a little bit of extra capacity there. I think that would be good. Okay, so the cargo rack right here, look, we've got 2 6Es, a 6A fuel scoop. Here, this 5E cargo rack by there, I'd be very tempted to put a frameshift drive booster in there, give you a bit of extra range to go with the engineering you would put on there from Felicity for your frameshift drive. And then the fuel scoop, of course, costs nothing. Suck in that fuel. Got a 4E cargo rack down there. Advanced docking computer, super cruise assist. You're going to want a discovery scanner, right? You're going to have to have one of those. Whether or not you take this out or take one of these out, and like I said on the standard version, put in a surface scanner, that's completely up to you, depending on what you want to do with this Panther Clipper. And of course, you've got that planetary approach suite. Now, both models are fighter bay compatible, depending on what slot you want to give up to get that fighter bay in it. And also your multi-crew, you have 3 additional seats to trolley around your squad in luxury and style. Because as I've said before, the Panther Clipper is not about scrimping and saving. This means you've got a bit of scratch and you're going to announce yourself when you rock into the system and hopefully don't get ganked by a bunch of pythons. So, what one are you going to go for? Let's just pop back here and look at the Panther Clipper Mk II. Deploy the pre-built ship. Here it is. We'll use it. We'll wait for it to get its gear on the go. So here we are at Jameson Memorial. Into outfitting. Let's just check what is... And it's thinking about a lot of things here. Look, I've got a flashing square down there for some reason. We've got the... Oh, we're back. Optional internals. Right, lovely. Okay, shield generator. Let's just sell that for a moment. Gone. can I put in a 6 shield generator? Well, I can. That's lovely. 6 being, I think, the lowest one it can possibly get in there. So that's something to think about as well. So that was the standard version in all its glory. More about the Stellar version, right? More about the Stellar version. Let's deploy that. Scrolling across through all my ships. There it is. Deploy. So I want to talk about the paint job, and I want to talk about things like the spoilers and things like that. I did cover this in a bit of detail on my announcement video when it first came available to the partner community, which was good. There it is, Panther Clipper, use that ship. And what we'll do now is we'll take it to the livery section. Okay, here we go. So you get a paint job with it, which is nice. It's not going to say anything alike though, is it? You want a chrome one or a black one. So it's the Freighter Gold paint job right there. You say nothing. You're like, it's kind of alright. Bespoke. Utilitarian. You do this, you think, oh, it's not bad, is it? So, you know, like I say, it's quite a nice looking model. So you also get a ship kit with it, which is the Merchant ship kit. Now, you get the Panther prong, but you also have options of having the gills right there, or nothing at all, depending on what you're doing. But if you bought the Stellar version, you want that little bit of individuality, and you can mix and match. You haven't got to have anything there. Everyone likes the Panther prong for some reason. The wings, given the sheer size of this, and you can see how here it's filling that large pad, right? You get these little vents. I think these ones are quite nice, the 2 version. And also, you get a spoiler, right? So I've got this spoiler here that sort of like raises the back, or you can get like the Lambo picnic table right there, which I quite like that as well, to be perfectly honest with you. On the tail, you have the option of you have one option of these little venty things up here, these little things, and some cowl coverings. It's not bad, so we'll take it up onto the pad now and see what it looks like in the light of the station. And here, as you can see, there's that Lambo-esque spoiler right on the back. I quite like that. Although, if you have anything to do with power play, those power play modules that go on the back of this, the ship kit, that's going to remove that, which is a bit of a shame. You can see we've got these cowls here on the side, and those sort of like wingtip vent things, I suppose you could call them. I mean, the ship kit's alright. I like the spoiler. The prong's okay. Probably have somebody's eye out with that. It's not what you call outstanding. Where's the spinning dish for this? I like the spinning dish. Of course, you've got that option there, right there on that nacelle. Again, you've got that front cowling right by there. And, of course, the Panther prong. There it is. Not only do you get that, but with the Stellar version, you get the Panther Clipper Owners Club decal, should you want it. Up to you. It could be a much sought after commodity. You never know. But with the Stellar version, that's effectively what you get. Now, like I say, both ships kind of handle the same. Obviously, with the different modules, you're going to get more enhancements with A modules as you are with E modules. You start engineering the modules up, replacing them, it's going to handle a lot better. There you go. The Panther Clipper. Stellar and Standard editions. Stellar is coming in at 19,020 ARX. It's about $12. No cosmetics. And the Stellar is coming in at 38,000, which is about $22.99, something like that, current rates. And you do get the cosmetics, the decal, and you also get the ship kit. Which one are you gonna buy? You're gonna buy one. There's always going to be those people, oh, I'm not going to buy one, I'm going to get it in-game for credits. Okay, you can wait at your leisure while we shift product all over the Elite Dangerous Galaxy. You let me know in the comments. I'm really interested to know what one you're going to buy, or if you're going to buy one. I've been Ricardo, and this has been the Panther Clipper Standard or Stellar video. Hope you enjoyed it. See you soon.